Greetings, viewers all over the world. My name is Homalemo Morebo Hopadi. I'm a motivational speaker, an international student, and also an international speaker, and also an upcoming South African president, and also the United Nations General Secretary. And I'm also passionate about the youth development as well. I've visited few schools in and around my community, giving students hope that everything can be possible only if we set our minds free and we go and strive for what we want in life. I strongly believe in education because I believe that education can take us far in life, can take us into the fourth Industrial Revolution, we can also tap into 21st century. I also believe that education is not only about a child being in a desk, but education is also in sports as well. Education is abroad. Education is you learning from your elders. Education is so abroad, and I have done so many things with the youth. I've almost spoken to 36 schools around my community, telling kids about how their dreams can be possible, telling kids about the importance of education. And I've also extended my services to also young people outside my provinces. I've spoken in Gauteng, Mpumalanga, Free State, and KwaZulu-Natal, giving kids hope and telling them that everything is possible. Apart from that, I'm also an international student studying at the American University. I'm studying political science, international relations, and also diplomacy. I'm passionate about diplomacy because I believe that diplomacy can take us far in life. My dream is a dream of President Julius Malema. He once said that, why don't we have Africa without borders? And that is what I'm striving for. I'm striving to have young people that can say that I'm a proudly African without identifying him or herself as a South African, as a Malawian, as a Zimbabwean. But all of us, I believe that you are one. I believe in unity. And one also of the reasons that why I studied politics is because I also wanted to also have a voice to the voiceless, speak for young people, because we've seen that most of the people in parliament, they don't speak for us as young people. But I believe that us as young, being in parliament, being in the United Nations, representing our countries, our continent, we can also have a voice to the voiceless. That's why I studied politics. And apart from that, I have my own magazine called Prospering Youth Magazine, which aims to empower young people, to motivate young people, and also to take young people out of their comfort zones. And also, one of the most things, to expose young people and tell others that, you know what, there are young people out there that they do prosper, and also showing other young people that it is possible. If somebody did it, that means that you can do it. And also, one thing that I did is my organization called the Pearl of Africa. The Pearl of Africa is an organization which also goes with empowering and also inspiring young people. I believe that inspiring young people is one of the biggest things that I'm passionate about. What we do is the Pearl of Africa, we help the grade 12s to apply to various universities in the province, outside the province, and also internationally. Last year, we managed to take 5 students to universities such as Wits, Northwest University, Stellenbosch, and UKZN. And that is what we do. We want to show young people that it is possible with our help as the Pearl of Africa. We don't just end there, but we also do counseling with young people. We also interact with young people. We also hold conferences for hashtag Mentor a Girl Child, where we speak about girl issues, and also hashtag Mentor a Kasiboy Child, where we speak to young boys about the issues that we are currently facing, and them having a voice to raise issues that they do face as young boys in the community. And that's what our organization almost do. And we are also pushing young people and also looking for opportunities for young people locally and abroad. That's one of the things that we do as our organization, the Pearl of Africa. And I personally call myself an activist, and I'm also an ambassador of Christ. I believe that God has sent us on earth to fulfill our purposes, and all what I've mentioned, it's I fulfilling my purpose here on earth. And I'm going to leave you with a quote that says, I am here on earth to unearth what on earth I am here for. Thank you so much. And apart from that, I'm also a United Nations diplomat, that a young upcoming diplomat. I've shared stages with many people, and I've visited almost few embassies in the United States of America, such as the United States of America Embassy, and also the embassy of the British Embassy, the Kenya Embassy, and other embassies such as the Mexico Embassy. And my aim to go there was to speak to young people, was to also look for opportunities for young people abroad the country, and also interact with young people, participate my my diplomacy skills, and that's Khomolemo. And make sure that you follow me. It's Khomolemo More Bokopane on my social media platform.
Hey guys, I mean, you just seen Khomolimo's video right there, and he's amazing. Like, I must say, I'm inspired myself. I call him my son because you know what? When I look at him, I look at my brother, I look at the inspiration behind each and everything that he does. And I'm so proud of you, my son. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm well. I'm
Yeah.
fantastic.
I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm also fantastic. You know, earlier when we were having a discussion, obviously we were not telling the audience, but I was saying to you that I can't believe that we're actually having a Zoom when we've been saying, you know, we'll do events together, and now it's like we can't, you know, do much due to this pandemic. So, how are you coping? How are you doing? How is this COVID treating you?
Yeah, to be honest with the viewers all over the world, this COVID-19 for me, it has been my season personally. But when we're being realistic, it has been hectic because of I had many opportunities that I was offered that I couldn't fulfill due to this pandemic, and many also opportunities that I had, but I couldn't participate in those opportunities due to this pandemic.
Wow. Okay. So, but I like what you're saying is if it was okay, maybe explain to us why are you saying it was actually your season? Like apart from the things that you were not able to do,
It,
what was that unique part
it,
about this?
the unique part is that I managed to fulfill part of my 2020 vision in this pandemic, because out of this pandemic, I managed to go abroad, which is the United States of America in Washington, D.C., to further my studies, as well as to meet up with a few diplomats in this season, because that's when diplomats were not busy. That's when diplomats were not that busy in their offices and doing office work. They were in their homes, and I managed to visit some of them and engage with them, and also be part of the United Nations caucus, because of I could have not gotten an opportunity to share stages with diplomats and speak about global issues. But this pandemic made me to sit with giants and speak about global issues. So that's what I'm
Wow.
saying. It was there
No,
was
definitely.
something that I expected came
Uh-huh.
out of this season.
I no, definitely. Let me just give you a round of applause there. I actually agree with you. That is fantastic. Congratulations on that. And you know what? For someone who is maybe from a village and you know they're thinking to themselves, you know what? One day I want to study abroad. I want to, because you know there's something powerful about being fearless and allowing yourself to take up any opportunity that you know you see and having the desire to actually go to another level of life, because I mean I can't compare what you have done or the opportunity that you got as just my ordinary opportunity of just going to any tertiary institution or high school around my country. You got out, so that's being fearless. So how did you get that type of opportunity, and what inspired that? And I know that you might have maybe got support, but I just want to know how you actually got that courage to take up this opportunity and you know have that leap of faith, if I may call it that.
Yeah, I got this opportunity by being online. You know how we use social media. It's what matters the most. I used my social media in a good way, whereby I use social media to find opportunities like this one. This one, I followed the American University page, which is where I'm studying, and I found out that they are releasing a half scholarship for international abroad, and they're looking for students who are from Africa. And I was told myself that, you know what, I'm going to use the social media in a good way. I'm going to register, and then finally I got accepted after all the hundreds and hundreds of interviews, the hundreds and hundreds of essays that I had to write, and I got accepted at American University. But the opportunity, I got it from the social media. So it's the social media. It's so powerful, and people should use it wisely.
Wow, I like that. I like that. And Coincidentally enough, when you're talking about social media, I've been doing a series of sessions on, digital marketing and the importance of social media. So, and I'm glad that you're actually pointing it out, because, I mean, you're saying right now that you actually saw a page, and, sometimes we don't understand the power of social media and the power that we can get from actually applying our minds in all of that. And the last part that I think really got me on what you just mentioned is the fact that after having to write many essays, like different essays, you got to write essays and do tons of interviews, but the profound thing is that you didn't give up. You didn't give up. You kept on going, and that's, to me, I think, is the best part, which I would like us to now get into, the current state of, I mean, I consider you as an inspiration, especially to young people, those that are building their lives. And you are one person who goes around schools and inspire, students and all that. So we know that now the fourth industrial revolution, it's really taking over, and most people were not really concerned, or actually attentive of the changes that are happening. So what can you say to that generation that is coming, and that is mindful of new ideas? What can you advise them in terms of COVID-19 or the new changes that we are actually facing in our country or in the world in general?
Yeah, my advice to them is that as young people, let's tap into the fourth industrial revolution. Because of, if you're gonna blame institutions, because I saw reports this morning that most of the students in universities in South Africa, they're not participating in this fourth industrial revolution, and their residence is network. They don't have network where they stay. But then when it comes to WhatsApp, they do have network for WhatsApp. When it comes to Instagram, they do have network for Instagram. But for when it comes to academics, they do not have network for their schoolwork. So if you're gonna, our mindset is gonna be like that. That means that you're not gonna go anywhere as young. Ones that holds this fourth industrial revolution, we're the one that we are gonna introduce this fourth industrial revolution to our children and our fellow little brothers and sisters. So we should be so much interested in knowing more about it and participating in it now, as we're given an opportunity to participate in it. So we should tap into it as young people and see what it does have for us. Because of sitting in a class, I know that it might be something else. Some of us, we do not like being in class for many hours, but the fourth industrial revolution has made us to study home and do things home. So it also helps you in the future when you want to further your studies and you are working at the same time, you knock off late, you can also attend your studies while you are home. So I encourage all the young people to use this opportunity of tapping into the fourth industrial revolution, because that's how you're gonna work in the future. You're no longer gonna have a lecture in class, but just gonna have a lecture playing on your screens in classes. So this is how we should tap into the fourth industrial revolution.
Wow, you are just exciting me, because you are mentioning exactly the things that are actually happening. Young people, and if you are young and you are watching this, somehow you've probably been a victim of that. They complain about not being able to have the network, but surprisingly enough, you see people posting their pictures, their videos on social platforms, and then you wonder, how are you able to access your social platforms, yet you can't actually have network? Like, how do you do that? So thank you so much for raising that point. And I think this, if I can emphasize on that, it's important for young people to realize that they have to now be able to separate between what's important and what's not important. And this is not just for your for your own being or for your own interest, but think about your future. Think about the goal or what you want to achieve. Because right now, Homo, I feel like at this point, it's going to be very difficult for those students that are so dependent on being taught. Because what you're saying now, it's important that like things have changed, things are changing. This thing of maybe a lecturer having to be in class and having to show you what needs to be done or actually teach you what needs to be done is actually a thing of the past. Now you're gonna need to now go into the internet, get your modules, get whatever, and study for yourself, like on your own, you know. So what can you say to that young person who is very dependent on other people or, you know, a teacher to actually show them the way? And, you know, speaking from a point of coming from a village, I think I got to have a lot of interaction with, you know, my village girls and boys. So I can understand that there is that attitude of some things are not available for us. The internet is not available for us. We don't have tablets, but you have a phone. You know, there are so many complaints or pushing of blame, and obviously I'm not generalizing. But now, what can you say to that young person who is so dependent on getting something from the government or having to get all the fancy phones, whatever? What can they do with their Hawaii, that 1,000 rand phone that has Facebook, Google, and that WhatsApp? Like, what can you say to that person?
What I can say to them, first thing is that they must ask themselves why. The why part is important. Because of if you don't have the why part, then you shouldn't exist in life. Yeah. They should have a why part, that why did they register this year to go to university? Why did they start going to school this year? Why couldn't they just do homeschooling? Or why couldn't they just sit at home and do nothing? They should have a why. Why are they going to school? Once they found their why, they will find the reasons why they should strive and make sacrifices and also seek for advisors and resources to further their studies. But if they don't have why, they would never succeed in this pandemic. But then if they have found the why, they will know that in this season it's time for you to do self-studying. Some of you, especially those in rural areas, you might not have the lectures, you might not have the tablets or the phone like people who are in model Cs or people who are in townships, but you have your test books. Use your test books to study. Whatever you don't understand, ask a friend. Use your WhatsApp wisely. Do group chats. Whatever chapter you don't understand, ask the other learner, because there's no way that the whole class cannot understand the chapter, regardless of you're taught of it or not taught of it. But somehow there will be one learner who understands that chapter. So make groups. You might maybe gather go and then do social distancing and then study there. 5 of you can study and can learn something. If somebody is good in maths, let it be that no, today Tabo is teaching maths. Tomorrow Leseho is teaching Setswana. Tomorrow Palisa is teaching life science, or whatever that you might be studying, whatever that it also applies to also varsity students. It will also work for you like that. You don't need a phone to make sure that you pass this year. You don't need the fourth industrial revolution to make sure that you pass this year, but you need to use the resources that you currently have.
My goodness. Wow. I know. I love how you are so on point, and then you get straight to the point, and you know what, Hauti, you put it as it is. Know your why. Know why you are actually at school. Know why you've registered. I mean, there's no excuse. Guys, Homolima has said it. There is no excuse. Whether, you know, the fourth industrial revolution is happening and everything, whether you have a phone, whether you don't have a phone or you don't have a laptop or whatever, or the internet, that is not an excuse. Someone else in your neighborhood knows a certain module that you do not know. Make a plan, make it work. And if you do not, unfortunately, then it means you do not know your why. Wow. Amazing. Thank you so much. Wow. I'm excited. I feel like we should go on. We need to end this video, but I wish we could go on, because what you're saying is really, really important to, you know, young people that are watching. But I think without, you know, taking away all the important facts that you pointed out, what's your very last message to, anyone? It can be young people, it can be people in business, it can be, anyone. Like right now, I think everyone needs a bit of inspiration, a bit of positive words. So what is your message to, whoever who's out there or watching?
Okay. My last message to viewers all over the world is that I'm a spiritual person, and I believe that in every situation, God has a season. It might be your season in this pandemic, but it might not be my season. But to you, if this is your season, make the use out of this season. Make sure that whatever little time that you get, you use it wisely. Make sure that out of this lockdown, you produce the fruits. This is the time to clear your vision. This is the time to branch your vision for 2020. This is the time to make sure that your vision is clear for 2020. This is the time to do self-introspection. So I encourage you to go back to your vision board and make sure that your vision board is clear, so that once this pandemic is over, you are able just to kick and run with your mandate for 2020. It's not the end of the world, but make sure that your vision is for this year, regardless of this pandemic.
My word.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. Humulemo, you're taking me back, when I was your age, man, like, yo. You know what? Let me not go on, real talk with Ntabi. And then when a mother and a son are talking, they will not.
Yeah.
But let me just say thank you so much. I'm so honored that you managed to engage my audience. And of course, guys, Humulemo also has officially created his YouTube channel, so you can go and subscribe. So please tell them what your channel is so that they can go and subscribe.
My channel is Humulemo Morebo, and we are dealing with education, leadership, entrepreneurship, and also global issues. And also we are also interviewing global leaders such as my mother here. Soon we will be having you on our YouTube channel, interviewing you on how do you make it as a young, phenomenal lady.
Oh, wow. I'm honored. Yes, I can't wait for that day. Thank you so much. And where else can I find you? I know you have Instagram, so please give out your handle so that they can also follow you.
My Instagram, Facebook, Twitter handle is Humulemo More Bukopani, as in like more for more. Bukopani.
You heard it, guys, and trust me, this will not be a waste of time. You need to go to his Instagram, his Facebook, his YouTube channel. You will get inspired. I know that, there is more that we can talk about, but unfortunately, due to time, we can't go on. But there's more that is still coming. And like he said, I'm even going to be on his channel soon. So yeah, more is coming. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I am proud of you, and I will never stop telling you how amazing you are. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mom.
You're much
Thank you for inviting me to talk.
Yeah, definitely.